step. Once again, we step not only to prevent fast breaks, but we step for balance. So as I do the pinch and pop move, I'm punching my hands in, pinching up with my left, and stepping here. What this allows me to do is it allows me to have a pivot foot here to pivot off of and pull the ball around my opponent. So, the move should look something like this. As I approach the ball, come in, I'm pinching. I'm then going to drag the ball around here and then pull forward. It's very important with this move that you drag the ball down the line around your opponent. I see a lot of kids doing the plunger move and they clamp like this and then they go forward. That is the incorrect way to do it. The proper way to do it is to pinch, pull down the line, and then out in front, fast breaking your opponent. Same way going behind. If I'm going behind, I'm going to pinch, pull up on my right hand. As you can see, the pinch has been created. I'm going to step and then pull behind to myself. And I want to get him in.
Questions on that? Questions on the pinch and pop move? Yes, sir. When I pull it down the line and forward, you can pass it to your wingman. That's one of the things that move allows you to do. When you have that ball pinched in your stick, it allows you to have the control to really throw it to one of your wing guys, move it out to one of your wing guys, which is pretty cool. Toss it in the air. Not only that, but you also can create transition with your wingman from the face-off X. Whereas if I'm pinching, I can have my guy breaking off field and kind of throw it to him going this way. It really does allow you to have total control. There, I'm just kind of showing how I can pinch, I can step, I can push off that foot, pull behind, pinch, step, and pull it forward. You almost want to make a C motion when you're kind of pulling that around, because what are guys trained to do? Guys are trained to step. So if guys are trained to step, my goal is to try and get around their foot. How can I do that? Well, by pinching that ball, pulling it down the line in kind of a C or check motion, I can get that ball around their foot now for a fast break. Other questions on this move? Yeah. Have I modified my head to get that kind of flex? Yes. I'm not going to go over baking, but if you have a question on baking, come after and ask me. But yes, the head's been modified. But I will say this, I can't, last year I came in and I said I've never had an illegal stick, but this summer one of the Chicago guys checked my stick and it was legal. So I will say I've had one illegal stick in the last 8 years for college and the MLL. So my stick's legal, the ball does roll out the back and the front. And one of the things that I see a lot of young face-off guys, high school kids, the ball actually gets wedged in the back of their stick. And then they actually end up punching it out with their thumb or whatever it is. That's terrible. I've never had to do that in my entire life. And the reason is because I wouldn't be able to do that move if I had to do that. I wouldn't be able to pinch it and pull the ball out if I had to push it out with my thumb every time. So throw a hockey puck in there, throw a field hockey ball, something to make that legal in the back. Yes, sir. I can't hear you. I use a blade, a Warrior blade. I've used it since the 8th grade. I haven't used anything else, so I'm glad Warrior's sponsoring Team USA. I'm supposed to go up more with the Delaware guys this week. I talked to a couple of them on the phone. I really haven't been too active in the college game this year. I'm sure it has an effect, but looking at the new stick dimensions, I think you'll be able to do the exact same thing. I just think that you really got to be aware of your stick. From what I've heard is a lot of the college guys are using that stick and doing well with it, but they're finding that after 6 or 7 face-offs it becomes illegal. And then it's about how do I adjust it during the game? How do I put things in and it's make sure that it's legal? Because the key is to make sure you have a legal stick. The last thing you want to do is have your coach. That's just not something you want to go down. The road you want to go down. Yes, sir.
You don't drive down the line, pinch it at all. You right away.
I try and drive my right hand out and punch my right hand harder, than really drive down the line. Now, if a guy's got like a quick break or he's trying to get the ball out quickly, that's when you want to go down the line a bit more. But mainly, instead of driving down the line, I want to drive into his stick, create that separation. My fist, the goal in the pinch and pop is to really have my fist encompass the back of his stick head. to pin his stick head almost to the ground with a punch to create that separation. I'm not really going down the line as much as I'm going into him at my opponent. Other questions on the pinch and pop?
Where are you lining up with the ball?
Where am I lining up with the ball?
Yeah, this is the head of the stick.
I'm trying to put my cross as far down as I possibly can. I'm trying to get the ball on the narrow end of my stick. Why? Because obviously it's easier to pinch that way. But once again, that's referee's discretion. They have a lot of effect on that. In the college game and high school game, obviously, you know, they're going to want that ball right in the middle. So, you know, the main thing is they want to make sure that not one guy is getting an advantage. You know, as long as it looks like both guys' sticks are pretty equal to where they should be, I think they'll let it go. But obviously, you want to have the ball down at the narrow end of your cross as much as the referee will allow. Other questions on the pinch and pop?
Does your stance change at all between?
I like to use the same stance and hand position for every move I do. That way, my opponent can't look at me and say, okay, well, you know, by looking at film, especially in college, you know, film's huge, saying that, oh, you know, well, he's, you know, going one up, one down, he's going to rake, or he's moving his right foot back, he's going to jam. You know, I jam, I clamp, I pinch, I rake. I have the same hand and foot position for every move. And then, you know, if you need to make adjustments during the game, I guess you can, but try and go into every face-off using the same exact technique. Other questions on pinch pop? Yes.
When you drag the ball down the midline, how can you avoid creating advantage for your opponent?
When I drag the ball down the midline, how do I avoid creating an advantage for my opponent? When I'm dragging the ball down the midline in that move, I'm really just dragging the ball down to pull it away from his step. Because as you know, what you teach your guys defensively is just to make that right step, to get into your guy, to create that separation. So hopefully, you know, if I do drag it over his foot, you know, the ball will pop out, and it's kind of a defensive measure. The reason I'm dragging it down that midline is to pull it around him, so even if I am fast breaking him and he gets up into me, I have an opportunity to get that ball out. I'm not actually going to pull it all the way down the line, you know, because obviously when guys are going to come in, I'll get teed up. So I'm just dragging it enough to really get around that initial man, and then go forward. Any other questions on this move?
As you punch in the right hand, how do you defend against the guy who's going to jump on top of the ball?
Good question. How do you defend against a guy that's going to jump or jam? To really beat this move, if a guy's jamming you, they have to be right on the whistle. Obviously, because you know my stick coming from here to here on the ball is going to be a lot quicker than a guy that has to actually pick his hands up and try and stop you. So you know it's one of those things where if I'm on the whistle and he's on the whistle, usually with this move or a clamp, you should be okay. If a guy is going to jam you and he's right on the whistle and his timing's pretty good, you might want to try sweeping underneath or raking or doing something that, you know, change up your move a little bit. But with this move, you know, it's a good counter against this move is definitely a jam. Because you can pin the guy down even if the ball is in my stick pinched, he has an opportunity to pin me down. Other questions? No?
As I clamp, I'm rolling this hand over, right here, on top of the ball, and pulling up with my left hand, making sure that the stick is perpendicular to the ground and parallel to my body. Now, it's important. A lot of young kids are going to be watching this and viewing this tape, and I want you guys to understand that this is not a two-step move. This is a one-step move. I see a lot of guys I've worked with clamp, pinch, step, and then go out. That's about 4 steps. The move should actually be one fluid step, one fluid movement. As I come in, it's here and there, okay? Not only that, but what I'd like to explain is the most important thing about this move is exploding out of your stance. As I come in, and that's where this right foot comes in, is exploding out of your stance. As I come in and I pinch, okay, pushing off this right foot to pull out forward. As you can see, I exploded out of my stance, leaving my opponent here, hopefully like this, looking up the field. That is the goal when doing a pinch and pop. Now I'd like to bring Coach Tamburino in to demonstrate how to effectively move the ball around his body forward for a fast break.